I'd like to thank the grace of heaven, virtues of masters, grand predecessor, transmitters, and all of you for giving me the chance today to share this topic. So today's topic is on Holy Teacher Scripture on what is real vegetarianism. Now, everybody, there's different levels of vegetarianism, and it's up to the individual to decide what level they want to be. This is vegetarian, there's vegan, pescatarian, there's all kinds of vegetarians now. So for those who wish to get to the more advanced vegetarian vegan, Holy Teacher gives us some advice on what we should stay away from and what is allowed and not allowed. And I figure maybe once we go through the scripture really quickly once, and then we can maybe spend more time on a discussion. We can share our own vegetarian experiences, and maybe those who wish to become vegetarian maybe have faced some obstacles they can share and we can discuss. Okay, so let's start from the beginning. Jill, do you want to start and read the first paragraph?
In this time period, you all have good lives, and eating vegetarian is convenient now, right? Eating conveniently may also mean consuming non-vegetarian ingredients. These days, our vegetarian products clean, actually pure vegetarian ingredients? Not really. If it's not clean, do you still eat it? Maybe not. What do you mean, maybe not? How do you define what is clean and not clean? It's delicious, so we treat our Tao members to eat it, right? Often provide a lot of vegetarian products, right? Right. So how do you define what is clean and not clean? Let's analyze and listen. Director, Holy Teacher wishes we are able to distinguish clearly. Stand up and speak. It's okay. Holy Teacher will not yell at you. Today we sit and discuss together and chat. Thank you for Holy Teacher's mercy.
So the scripture, we have some new members, so they may not be clear on what this is. So when the Holy Teacher channels during, Dharma classes or classes that are specific for maybe lecturer and temple members or temple masters, what we do is we take their words, word for word, and we try to translate it. So those words that are in parentheses are usually the class members who are responding to Holy Teacher and say, yes, we understand, that kind of thing. So, oh yes, right, yes. Holy Teacher, in this period right now, Holy Teacher is one of the Buddhas, and he's in charge of kind of teaching us, so we are all his disciples. And his statue is the one on the right-hand side in the front, the big statue with the fan. Yeah, if you want to stand up, you can see it. That's, yeah. And he used to be a monk in a past life, and so, yeah, on the right-hand side, yeah, with the fan. So we're really lucky in this time period that we have Holy Teacher who is able to actually talk to us with their wisdom and words, and we can actually learn. So it's very, very nice.
No. Just for her benefit. He's a historical figure. I think we have to step back. He's a Buddha. He's a Buddha. So it's not just what we know of history as, Sakyamuni or Siddhartha, right? He was a Buddha too. But there are many Buddhas. But he happened, our Holy Teacher, we call him Ji Gong. Historically, he lived during the Song Dynasty, mid to late Song Dynasty, probably mid late Song Dynasty in what's that? I guess you could say eastern central part of China. And there's a monastery that he near Westlake. So you can look it up. You can Google his name and his whole title. So but he was a monk, and that was his incarnation. That was one of his incarnations. Okay, so we take one of his latest incarnations. He also incarnated much later as our 18th patriarch. But that's another thing.
She found us on the internet.
Oh, wow.
She already has some study on Buddhism.
That's wonderful. So that means you have an affinity with everybody here today and all the Buddhas.
Last week we have 2 groups of people from outside group.
哦，interesting.
last week was,
Interesting.
yeah.
Yes. No, I was just telling her that I lived in South Korea for a year as an English teacher, and that was the first time that I came into contact with Buddhism.
Yeah.
And I grew up Christian,
Yeah.
went to a Jewish school. So,
Wow.
so I have like a lot of, but it's interesting. I will definitely go and read up about all of this. I think that there's a lot of information to Thank you very much.
That's great.
Happy to have done.
So about this paragraph, we talk about what's clean vegetarian and not so clean. So, sometimes we go to vegan restaurants and they say it's pure vegan, but sometimes there's these vegetarian products that looks like meat, but they say it's vegan. But what Holy Teacher is telling us is that these products, even though they claim to be vegan, some of them have some things in it that are not pure vegan. So then he's kind of giving us like more information about these products. So when we say vegetarian product, it kind of includes like those veggie shrimp. They look really real, right? Yeah. So, a lot of these products, we use them to help encourage people to learn to eat vegetarian. So this scripture is really talking about if we wish to be the next level, like what kind of things should we try to cut down on? Okay. So any questions on the first paragraph? No? Or any comments? Okay, let's keep going. So the second paragraph, Haley, do you not have them? Are there any extras down there?
No, that's okay.
Oh, okay.
If you have questions, please ask. This is the end of the chapter. You don't understand. If you don't understand something, you must ask for clarification. Otherwise, cultivating doubt on this path will be very hard. Today, Holy Teacher has some time to sit and chat, discuss with you. Not every class has this opportunity. Thank you for Holy Teacher's mercy. You guys tell Holy Teacher first. How do you define clean vegetarian products? What is considered not clean? Think about it. Our vegetarian products these days, aren't they very similar to meat products? Yes. Therefore, if we eat vegetarian, we must understand the real meaning of vegetarian. We don't want to only care about eating delicious food. There are many vegetarian products we have eaten that are made with meat, and we don't even know. Moreover, there are a lot of added ingredients that are not healthy for our bodies. We should eat more and more like.
Thank you. So, in the beginning, Holy Teacher says that, if we have questions, now's the time to ask because we're reaching the end of this chapter. So, our time with Holy Teacher and the Buddhas are getting shorter and shorter. So when we have opportunities, for example, like the May Dharma class, to see the Buddhas, that's the time that we should maybe, absorb more wisdom from the Buddhas, as much wisdom as we can. So any comments or questions on this paragraph? Okay, let's go to the next one. Carrie, do you mind to read the next one? The third paragraph.
Can you eat eggs? Can older people not eat eggs? No. Can pregnant women not eat eggs? No, they should not eat eggs. Those who think no, raise our hand. So those who did not raise your hand believe pregnant women should eat eggs, right? We don't know. And good answer. Saying you don't know, this is called being frank, not deceiving. Do transmitters believe eggs are okay to eat? No, we can't eat eggs because eggs has what's remnants of
What is
Remnants
remaining
traces.
of uric acid. Basically, they still have life. Do you understand now? Yes, director. Last time during the appreciation and repentance class, Buddha said if we eat eggs, we must undertake the consequence. Also, eventually, if we are unable to undertake any more consequence, we will be in heaven's jail.
So this part is talking about, those who wish to be vegan, they have to remove eggs from their diets. So when we remove, why Buddha said we can't eat eggs is because eggs actually have, they used to have life in them, right? So one time my mom was trying to make a hard-boiled egg, but when she opened it, it had blood in it. And so after that, she just never ate eggs again. So it's hard to say which eggs are okay to eat and which ones not. So Buddhas are saying, better to be safe and just don't eat them at all. And, if it says in the last sentence, the director said that if we eat eggs, we must undertake the consequences. And eventually, if we can't take any more of the consequences, we could potentially end up in heaven's jail. And that sounds kind of, intimidating. But what it's saying is that if we don't accumulate enough merits to counteract all the things that we might be creating karmas, if we choose to eat all these things that we know aren't good for us and may even have traces of meat in it, then we can eat it, but then we have to take that karma and that burden and take that responsibility. So if we run out of merits that counteract with all the things that we've done, then, there's potential that we have more demerits than merits, right? Any comments on this one?
For egg, in the beginning, when people try to be a vegetarian, some people might eat egg. Once people become speaker, lecturer, temple master, temple hosts, then Buddha told us don't eat this one. Yeah, because this always consequent, cause and effect.
Right.
And those cause and effect, people make sure we have enough marriage with people want to eat. Okay. Second thing is, egg is not that pure because our spirits, it affects our spirits. So that's why they encourage us not to eat that.
You have to define what's merit.
Okay, go ahead.
Because most people,
Credit. Okay, go ahead.
Merit in a very basic sense, it means just do good things.
Right.
It means good, be a good person, moral, follow your morality, follow your conscience, that type of thing.
Okay.
But then at a higher level, Buddha talked about it, and also Lao Tzu, that we have to do the good or follow our, be virtuous, all that stuff, moral, etc., etc. But we have to do it without any motivation. Right. You understand? So you know that, right? So you know that. Buddhist, right?
When we study,
Right. And Lao Tzu said the same thing. Wu Wei, right? Wu Wei is so that's real. That's the supreme merit.
Right.
Okay. So any merit, quote
So
unquote.
it's not self-serving.
Correct.
Wow.
Or you don't have a a type of motivation that motivates you to do it. So I do it because I want
it's the right
to be
thing.
well known. Like that, right? So that's the difference, right? Like philanthropy. Some philanthropy. Most philanthropy do it because either for financial reasons or some other reasons. Okay, so that's all with motivation. It's not that that's bad, but that's, like I said, that's the basic level. But in Buddhism, so those basic level of merit will what?
Become fortune.
Right. Will lead to or plant the seeds of future what we call fortune, or good fortune or prosperity. Okay, so that's still, from a Buddha's perspective, that is still limited, and that is still subject to laws of causality and also samsara. I don't know if you've heard of that. All right. So whereas the highest level of merit, the one without motivation, or like you say, non-self-serving, or not because of self-interest, right? And it's difficult. I know it's difficult. That will transcend samsara because it breaks the bounds, the laws of causality, and its, you can say, its benefits or its rewards, if you will, is unlimited.
Yes.
Okay. So that's Buddha mentioned that in the Diamond Sutra. Okay, that's an example. You probably read the Diamond Sutra, but that's an example. Okay, so that's what we call merit. A lot of times we use the term loosely, merit, but it's a different type of merit. Okay, so
Yeah, I also make one simple example for something. For example, today I donate $5. I remember on January 26th, February 26th, I donate $5. Even 5 years later, I still remember those $5. That means one day, when Buddha taught us cause and effect rules, one day those $5 are going to come back to us. Maybe this lifetime, maybe future lives. Okay, so they become fortune. But if we donate this $5, we forgot. We let it go.
It's not about getting it back.
Yeah, then those become part of our virtue, into our Buddha nature. It's unlimited. Could be come back more than $5. Unbelievable. That's what actually I was talking about. Unlimited. And this becomes our virtue, part of our inside our Buddha nature, become our virtue. So this is unlimited. So this is very important. The other thing that when human beings leave this world, two things. They did not bring all the fortunes with them, all the money, everything, wealth, or maybe the fame with them. Two things we bring with us. What Kai was talking about, merit. Some people call credit, merit. Second one is all the karmas. Karmas. Karma could be bad, could be good, all karma. So at the moment we have to see which one is more. If we have more merits, probably we are in good shape. If we make bad karmas, we are in trouble. So that's the difference. Yeah, thank you.
Yeah, I mean, it's been alluded to a lot, even it's not a foreign concept to the West, really. I mean, especially in Christianity. I mean, you probably read about in the Gospel, Jesus, the parable of Jesus being asked by, I guess it's like somebody about the old lady giving donation, right, versus the rich man. So that's one example. Or I think it's a Paul or somebody, I don't know, one something mentioned what? Oh no, it's in the Old Testament, like when you do deeds, what? You do such that the right hand does not know what the left hand is doing. I mean, that means you don't remember things, or forgive and forget, all that. So it's similar. You know what I'm saying? So it's not right. So it's not totally alien. I mean, so there are similar.
Good. Thank you very much.
Welcome. Next one.
Concerning the consequences, right? Because there are no concrete way to prove how fresh an egg is. So, and let's say the egg might be very old and it start, hatching. There is a life in that egg. So when you're eating that egg, now that's the consequence. You're responsible for that life. So that's one good reason that we should not be eating the egg.
Of course, today, with the way they're raised, right? I mean, it's not good for the hens, right?
Exactly.
And so it's the suffering, and you're taking advantage of their suffering, and so there's a consequence to that too.
Jill, did you want to add something?
I was not clear about the uric acid. How does it relate to that? It has a life form. Is that what the?
I guess it's saying that the egg is already fertilized. It's a fertilized egg.
So
it can potentially
have the
have life.
Oh, okay. So it's not the uric acid that has the life form.
That's probably a property of
because that's like a chemical, isn't it?
Yeah, right. It's probably the result of it being fertilized that it has uric acid. That's why
and that goes into the what you call the yolk of the egg.
Oh,
so that
because I just read something quickly that acid, the uric acid, isn't really not good for our body.
Yeah.
No.
It blends into your bloodstream, and part of the kidney stone can be developed by excessive uric acid.
Oh, so there's a lot of health reasons why we should try to cut down on eating some eggs.
But there's other food which can compensate those nutritions. So we will talk about that.
Yep. Okay, so let's read the next one. Mika?
Sure. End of chapter. Those with more wisdom are able to break past obstacles and the devil's tastes. Those with wisdom can see further. Those with wisdom are unafraid of the devil. Let's test you again. Holy teacher has time. Do you all have time? Yes. Today's testing is on wisdom. If vegetarian products have eggs, do we eat it? No. What vegetarian products do you eat? Let Holy Teacher hear. Veggie ham, veggie chicken, veggie ribs, veggie geese, veggie crab, veggie shrimp, veggie beef. Oh, I don't see the other one.
Veggie lamb.
Veggie lamb, veggie fish balls, veggie caviar, cheese. What else? What do you like to eat? Veggie golden duck. Holy teacher tells you tofu skin and gluten, veggie roast pork do not count, do not need to mention. Mushroom balls, eat them. Oh, wait, hold on. Mushroom balls, veggie ground meat. Okay, the rest is still too many to list. Listen clearly. Vegetarian products that have eggs, will you actually eat them? No. Really? Really? In the future, will you only eat vegetables and tofu? Yes. This is really eating vegetarian, actually vegetarian. Is that all right? All right.
Thank you. I think this one was a funny paragraph because I can picture them being in Taiwan and then Holy Teacher asking him, what kinds of things do you like to eat? And then everyone just starts listing all these things, right? So in Taiwan, they're really known for eating really well, and there's a lot of vegetarian options. But then, because people in Taiwan like to eat a lot, so they don't realize how some things may not be as clean vegetarian, and that's why Holy Teachers brought this up during that class. And then when I was translating, I was thinking, how come they didn't say veggie duck? And so Holy Teacher didn't forget. He said, what else? They're like missing something almost. And then they said veggie duck. And I was like, oh yes, he knows. But it's good because Holy Teacher also says that, tofu skin, gluten, veggie roast pork, all these things are still okay to eat. So that's not like saying discounting everything, all of our options. There's still things that we're able to eat.
Yeah, because those products that are listed here, typically they're made with egg white, protein, to make it, give it that texture, to have it bind together. But the veggie roast pork, because that's made from gluten, so that's different. That's why it's separate. Yeah.
Thank you. Any comments? Okay, let's keep going.
I think as a vegetarian, I remember that when people from normal meal try to convert to the vegetarian, eventually make a vegetarian vow. I take a lot of process to get there. So in the beginning, people say, okay, I'm going to try to eat those stuff. Then maybe cut back all those meat, seafood, and then one day maybe I can get there. So it takes a lot of effort, gradually transition to get there. But those stuff, the way the teacher said those kind of stuff, because all those businessmen, they knew we like certain tastes. So they can add some non-vegetarian stuff into it. So that's with a veggie fish. I'm always scared to death. I can smell a lot on veggie fish. Okay. So you can feel something's inside. Yeah. So the Holy Teacher just reminds those businessmen pretty much they ate to it. That's why you see all these vegetarian dishes. They ate certain things into those products.
It might be extracts from the real thing.
Right.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah, that's it.
Yeah, actually, Holy Teacher does talk on it. You guys all mentioned things that were also discussed by Holy Teacher later. So it's really interesting. If imitation meat looks too similar, it's probably not fully imitation.
Okay.
Okay, so let's go to the next one.
Listen clearly, veggie chicken is made from whole eggs. Without eggs, it will fall apart. When you attend a vegetarian banquet, what is the veggie chicken used for? Herbal soup, cut into cubes, Chinese herbs with red dates. That kind, you have veggie chicken that is made with eggs. Do you eat it? No. Those who eat it, raise your hands. In the future, do we still want to eat it? No. Vegetables and tofu, remember Holy Teacher said, this is real vegetarian. Holy Teacher said, real vegetarian is only vegetables with tofu, the lighter the better, without additives. Do you want to eat veggie ribs? Yes. They use a lot of egg white. Do you eat it? Before it was whole eggs, this is just half of an egg. Do you eat it? No. You guys decide yourselves, okay?
Thank you. So this one I think is interesting because Holy Teacher starts asking questions regarding our wisdom, the class member's wisdom. So if before we were talking about a whole egg, and that's not okay, but how about half of an egg, just a little bit, does that count? Right, so then it depends on how we view it. If we think that we wish to be to the next level full vegan, then obviously the answer should be no to all these questions. But in the end, he never says, no, you cannot eat these things. He says, it's really up to you guys to decide what level you want to be. I'm not going to force you. It's really your choice. I'm just giving you and presenting all the information and facts for you, right? Which I think is really good because in Tao, everything's natural. So if we wish to be vegetarian and vegan, then it's totally up to us. Nobody can push us one way or the other.
But you know the consequences.
Yeah, so he's just telling us the, both sides of the argument almost, but in the end, like, if we decide that we don't want to take on that burden, those consequences, then this is the answers for us, right?
Right.
So, any comments? Okay, let's keep going.
There are two types.
There are two types of veggie shrimp. One is made from konjac, no taste. Veggie shrimp made from konjac is okay to eat. Isn't there a new product? It is very similar to real shrimp with food coloring. The meat part is transparent, much like the egg, much like the white color of milk. Is this veggie shrimp and veggie crab really vegetarian? These two types have a strong smell, right? Yes.
Thank you. So konjac is like the yam cakes. I don't know if anybody, it's kind of like almost, it's called zhulo in Chinese. It's kind of like a chewy substance. That one's okay because it's made from yams and rice. But then there's, I was saying earlier, there's certain shrimps that look really similar. They even have the orange coloring on them. And yeah, that one they're saying is, that's not real vegetarian at all. There's actually meat in that. Okay. So any comments, any questions? Okay, let's keep going. Damien?
How much percent of veggie shrimp? How much percent is the main essence concentrate? How much percent of main essence is needed in veggie crab? Do you understand percent? Yes. If the manufacturer does not put meat essence, then they certainly cannot make the product. As long as there is no essence of crab meat, there is no way to replicate the taste of the shrimp essence. The only difference is the percent of how much essence there is. The less percent, the less alike the taste. The more percent composition, the more similar it is. Do you eat it? No. These two things are actually meat, not really vegetarian. Understand? Yes. Those who make the products are not vegetarian. Do they know they are putting meat in the products? Yes. In the future, do you want to eat it? No. Understand? Yes. These two products are really easy.
So I think that one was pretty clear, it's definitely not vegetarian. Yes?
Christine, so this Bashan is some kind of flavoring, right?
Well, when he say Bashan, he's saying percent, like it sounds like percent.
So
holy teacher is actually kind of comical.
That's a humor from our holy teacher.
It's hard to translate into English, but then he's like kind of joking around with the class
so
members.
he's talking about percentage.
Percentage of the meat. So it's not fully meat inside, but there's a certain percentage that is, right? So the more similar it is, the more meat there is, right?
I'm not holy teacher, it's very humor.
Yeah, he's actually really funny when you listen to him.
I remember last year.
Play on words.
There was an earthquake in Taiwan, right? 13 floors building becomes 3 floors building. It crashed down. So the Qigong Buddha said, okay, somebody made a building with tofu. So Christine, she's American, right? So how could tofu make the building made of tofu? A tofu building means all the material are not real strong material. So rather than Holy Qigong is a tofu building.
Yeah, I thought the building was really made of tofu. That would make sense.
Oh, it's a joke.
Yeah, so it's like the way he talks is very funny and almost humorous and kind of a way to relate to the class members. Any more comments or questions? Okay, let's do the next one.
Can you guess what is vegetarian made from?
Cabbage.
Pure egg. It smells very strong. Do you guys eat it? No. Did you eat some recently? Some did, some did not, right? In the future, we don't eat anymore, okay? Don't eat these toxic caviar and
So when I was in Taiwan maybe 2 years ago, we went to this place called the Spring Buffet in Taiwan. It's very famous. It's all vegan food, supposedly vegan. And then it's like a whole buffet. And I remember they'd come by with these carts. And each time they come back, it's like, it looks so real. The sushi, sashimi, it even has like the fish lines on it. And they have caviar on top of it. It was just, I was so afraid to eat it because it looked so real. And everyone else was eating it. But now I realize, like, this is a real thing in Taiwan, veggie caviar. Who would have thought, you know, in Taiwan they would eat caviar? If you're not sure what it is, it's like fish eggs, baby fish eggs.
Yeah.
Those little big balls.
It's rolled.
Yeah, a little bit in the real caviar, a little bit would be like a couple $100, right? So in Taiwan, they come up with everything. Any comments? Yeah, but in Taiwan, they really do come up with everything. And this vegan restaurant is just literally, everything looks so real. It's crazy. Yeah. You want to read the next one? Don't know the sound.
After you are vegetarian and take the vegetarian vow, are you sacred?
Scared.
No. Holy Jesus says so many things that we cannot eat. We can only eat vegetables and tofu. Going forward, are you afraid to be vegetarian? No. Are you worried about consuming meat? Yes. Okay, with everything Holy Teacher said? Okay. Do you have any more doubts about vegetarian products? No. Other than contract powder, gluten, tofu, skin wrap made vegetarian products, those are okay to eat. What about vegetarian oyster sauce? The ones that say vegetarian are okay. If it is not written, do not eat it. The vegetarian oyster sauce used to cook at home is okay, but if it is not vegetarian food stand, better to not eat it, unless it is a vegetarian food stand or vegetarian restaurant. Those who cook and sell real vegetarian food is okay to eat. If it is an ordinary restaurant, even though they say they will cook something vegetarian for you, but the oyster sauce they use is not vegetarian.
This, I think, was really important for those who have the vegetarian vow. So the vegetarian vow is some, like, people who kneel down in front of the altar and vow to Buddhas that we will never eat, you know, meat or non-vegan food again. And so it's kind of serious. You can't break that vow once you've made it. So for us, a lot of us who go to restaurants, we may not have a lot of vegan options. So then we go to a normal restaurant and we order and say, can you please make something vegan for us? They say, sure, yeah, they want our business. But, you know, we don't realize what they're using for the sauce that makes it taste good. It's not fully vegetarian vegan, right? So the Holy Teacher's telling us, I know a lot of us probably have made similar errors because we don't know, you know, we just take their word for it. So yeah, it's good to know.
So I have a question.
Sure.
What happens in that case in terms of the consequences if you're not aware of it? What do you do? Because say for instance afterwards
that's
you
a good
go,
question.
You're gonna happen, right?
I think, you know, when I was little, I feel like there weren't that many vegetarian options, so then I'm sure I've, you know, made mistakes often, and I even like have to sift through my food now whenever I go out to eat to make sure that it looks vegetarian. But, you know, back then my mom would tell me, if you don't mean to do it, you know, Buddhas really look at our heart. So if we are really sorry, we don't mean to do it, then as long as we show our sincerity, maybe do some vows and kind of repent, then it should be okay. But, you know, hopefully we have more merits to outweigh these mistakes that we may potentially make, right? But then there are people who say, oh, you know, it's okay, it's just a little bit, and then it's kind of a testing to see how sincere you are in being vegan or vegetarian. But it's really up to the individual, right?
But if you know, I mean, if you do know, like after some experience, you know, oh, you know, it's not clean, then, you know, the next time you got to be more careful.
Right. I think in Taiwan it's harder because when he's saying the vegetarian food stand, what they have is like almost like a little market on the street, and it's just people who make it right there in front of you, and then they only have certain materials on hand, so they just use whatever they have, right? If it's a full vegetarian stand, then you should be okay because they know that it has to be vegetarian.
I think in Taiwan, I just got back from there 2-3 weeks ago. I think some people were there before. It's much easier there to go to a vegetarian restaurant because every 2-3 blocks you can see the place. You can see one vegetarian restaurant. So many of them. So you have a lot of choices. You can go to buffet. Could be 70. I went to buffet. You can say 70, 80 dishes at least. Even you can cook your noodle, all the stuff. Yeah, everything you can. So we have a lot of choices. But some people, they may be not pure vegetarian. They want to eat a vegetarian restaurant. So they can choose to try different food. But for us, we got so many choices, so we don't have to fall into this kind of trap. Yeah, so we're pretty lucky there. Yes.
Yeah, we are really lucky. I think in America especially, we're really lucky because now, as like time period moves on, more and more vegetarians and more people who are health conscious are coming out. So now when you see menus, a lot of times you see gluten-free menu, you see vegan menu, vegetarian friendly, which I think is very good. We're really lucky.
I think New York City is really a great place for that.
Yeah, New York, a big city. Yeah, Mario.
No, yo quiero compartir que comer lo natural.
Louder.
I wanted to share that too. Eating natural.
Yeah.
Es mejor porque yo doy un ejemplo que
An example.
La medicina, hay muchos doctores que curan con plantas.
There are a lot of doctors that cure with plants.
Y eso es natural, ¿no? Yo en la selva de Perú
In the jungle of Peru,
conozco muchas personas que curan varias enfermedades
that cure a lot of sicknesses.
con el conocimiento de lo natural, de lo vegetariano, de las plantas.
With plants.
Y eso es algo que a mí me llama mucho la atención
And this is something that calls my attention.
y por eso ahora prefiero ya no comer carne.
And this is why I prefer now not to eat meat.
Todo. Thank you.
Well, there are health reasons.
Yeah.
For some people for health reasons, but I also remember one thing. I remember Judy, my wife, and then even myself. Especially Judy is very serious with allergy, hay fever. So every time she came back from the work, she was crying. Oh, eyes, just crying. I say, "What are you doing? What happened?" Crying. But after those years, now it's gone. It's gone. So you don't have those kind of situations, symptoms anymore. Even myself, seems much better, different situation. So it's interesting because our blood usually takes 7 years to clean our blood with vegetarian stuff. 7 years. Yeah. Thank you. Go ahead.
Yeah, I can also testify to that. I had a very, very bad case of allergy. And it was like, I was like in the hell in the spring time. But then after I took my vegetarian vow, I think it's like the second year, I didn't have to take any medicine at all.
Oh, that's great.
Yeah, because we eat all kinds of vegetables, different assortments of vegetables and also fruits. And they are so rich in antioxidants, which also boost our immune system.
Yeah, especially like dairy, so milk, eggs, those are big influence on having allergies. I mean, yeah, so if you cut those out, at least that should help. Yeah.
I think my friend Eric,
Vegan one.
Yes, vegan ice cream.
That's true. There's a lot of
Soy
vegan
milk
ice cream.
vegan.
Yeah, we just got one last week. You can whole food. You can find out. Yeah.
my friend Eric, he used to drink a lot of milk because he thought it was good for his bones. And then after he turned basically almost vegan, he tried to drink the milk again, and he realized that it was causing like more acne. And he said he thinks it's because there's a lot of hormones in the milk, and that we don't even realize it because you're so immune to it. But once you stop for a while and you try to drink the milk again or these non-vegetarian products, they have an effect on our health, and we can see it more clearly. So I know we still have another page and a half, but maybe we can spend the last 10 minutes just doing a discussion on our vegetarian journeys. Maybe people who want to share their journeys, or maybe their obstacles that they face, why they can't become vegetarians, or struggles maybe.
Yeah, I think Christine can finish those stuff.
Do you guys want to finish it, or you want to do a discussion?
Interesting. We should do the discussion.
Huh?
We should do the discussion.
Like share our
Because
personal.
we
You guys can
have
all read this at home, and if you don't have
Okay.
to.
And then you will continue next class.
Yeah, because we have.
So I think a discussion will be helpful because then we can kind of share what we're having trouble with vegetarian-wise, or what why we became vegetarian.
I just want to quickly talk about what's different on whoever make a vegetarian vow. I remember one temple master, Holy Chicken teacher, took take the person to the heaven, and then he was in heaven. He saw the two members because he went to lotus flower area to see. When we receive it down, everybody has a lotus flower in heaven. Yeah. So and he saw two people, because once we receive Tao, there's a two lotus flower in the heaven, and he saw one is booming, and the other one is dying. But he said it's not fair. The one lotus flower dying because the name there, this temple member, he knew that he knew this, both of them. And then he said, the person who came to the temple every week and walk every week, how come his lotus flower is smaller? And the other one, lotus flower is bigger. But she doesn't come to temple all the time. And she told Holy Teacher, it's not fair. It's not fair. Because this person came to temple all the time. How come her lotus flower in the heaven is smaller and the other one is bigger? You know what Holy Teacher told him there? The lotus flower is bigger, she make a vegetarian vow. The other one, she is not. She is not. So it's a big difference in heaven. They took our vow. Position is different. Yeah, thank you.
Actually, vow is one thing. The really important reason is because when we take the vow, then we kind of pledge not to kill any more animals. It's our compassion.
Anybody else have?
Maybe the newer members, if they want to share their personal
Especially,
experience. Claudia,
Yeah.
do you want to share something?
Yeah, I wanted to ask about, I was at a business dinner for a bank, big Chinese, Asian dinner, like hundreds of people. And when we left the banquet, there was a big tub of MSG, monosodium glutamate. And I said, oh my gosh. So I'm wondering about how the veggie meats that like we use, do they have MSG in them?
Probably.
Yeah.
Most of them. Most of them.
In Chinese culture, it's very normal to use MSG, unfortunately. So I think, once you go vegetarian, very clean vegetarian, now whenever I eat MSG, I get almost like heartburn, like my chest starts to hurt. And so, it kind of, now I can tell, but I can't tell until after the fact. So usually when food's really tasty, it's probably MSG. We try not to, yeah. We encourage the chefs not to do it. Sometimes they might sneak it in, we don't know. But usually they try not to.
I have allergies too.
Every time we go to a restaurant, doesn't matter, they think they are a vegetarian restaurant. Explain to them what we want to eat. Right now, I always check. I will tell them clearly. We think they knew what we wanted. Even I made a mistake too. I went to restaurant all the time. They knew what I wanted, so I don't have to say anything. They knew that. The problem the following time, a few times later, you find out it's not true. You know what? The cook is changed. different people are in the kitchen. So I didn't know that. I thought they knew what I wanted, right? Be careful. So every time, even I was in China one time, I ordered mapo tofu. So it's we think spicy tofu very simple, right? It came out. I want vegan, pure vegan, and I think it's a red stuff inside. And I asked them, what is red stuff? They say this is meat. I said, well, this is not what I wanted. So every time we go to restaurant, we had to specify very clearly. I explained to them what we wanted. So don't take a chance. That's why I started learning. I'm very more careful. Before I say, you trust it. Be careful.
I have a lot of friends who their parents opened Chinese restaurants. And they always warn me, like, Christine, you should probably try to stay away from vegetarian or Chinese restaurants because they've seen how it's cooked. And in the back, they kind of mix everything together. They use the same pots and pans. So if you want pure vegan, generally it's better to I would say, probably go to an American restaurant because a lot of them, it's more common that you'll see full vegan. They're more conscious of allergies. In Chinese, they don't really have allergies.
Yeah. Christine made me think about one accident happened in the tongue next to my tongue. The couple went to the restaurant. They eat the two dishes. The husband said he cannot eat shrimp. He allergic to shrimp. The wife is fine. So they order the same thing. One is without shrimp. But after the cook, they eat it. The husband, the dish is the noodle without shrimp. The wife with shrimp. And then what happened to the husband? The husband, they don't die because of the infection. Because he was allergic to the shrimp. But we don't know how they cook, right? When they cook, did they clean it clearly, right? So her husband died. I heard a story next to my tongue in New Jersey. I was scared. Wow, we never think about that. Right. And then happened to her husband.
I think it's sometimes I think about this when you order food. Sometimes it's better to say you're allergic to it, so then they're more careful. And even like, instead of a preference, you know, you say you're allergic, and they're like, okay, better be careful, right? Does anyone else have stories to share, or maybe their obstacles that they face?
Anybody on the back want to share? Any experience?
Maybe the younger.
Yeah, go ahead.
I have been hearing a lot of negative things about soya products. I just want to get some feedback from you if in fact it's not a good thing to
Soy. I've heard, soy has a lot of hormones, they say too. But in here, Holy Teacher says soy milk is still better than real milk. So if we can stay away, but now, you know, we have so many options that we have, you know, almond milk, coconut milk, and rice milk. So there's so many more options. So I think I've heard from other people who are more medical based that soy we should try to cut down a little bit, not too much of it. But I don't know if anyone else has a different experience.
You also can make yourself, right?
Yeah. But in terms of soya and the negatives is that if you're consuming a lot of it, you have to drink a lot of water. Because if you're not drinking water, it's sort of harden the kidney, and which creates a problem. So it's okay. You just have to drink a lot of water. But again, we have to be very careful because the establishment have this way of demeaning the health products. They say they're not good so that you could get away from eating healthy so that you could go to eat the stuff that they can. So you have to be very stern in what you're doing. To say you're a vegetarian, so I'm not eating any meat, and these are the products that I'm using. So because they're going to tell you they're not good. Because I've heard this doctor is saying almond milk is not good, goji berry is not good, and things like that, right? So it says there's no nutritional value in goji berry. So, you know, if you are vegetarian, you can do your own research. Look it up. But because a lot of them are doing, because milk is suffering, okay? So, and lots of people are now buying almond milk. And so they're gonna do a lot of things just so that people could say, well, unless I go back and drink milk because I'm gonna be harming myself, so let me drink the milk. So
a lot of doctors actually say like to encourage people to eat more meat, but then sometimes they may not understand the benefits of eating vegetarian. You know, you just gotta make sure you balance out what the things that you don't get from eating the meat, right? So like vitamins, supplements, that kind of thing.
Right.
Yo quiero
I want to
decirles un producto que es bueno, que tiene casi todo lo que necesitamos para nuestro cuerpo.
that has almost everything we need for our body.
Es la quinoa.
It's like quinoa.
Quinoa.
Sí, yo les recomiendo que
I recommend the
prueben,
quinoa
que es natural.
to try
Hay
it. It's
quinoa orgánica
natural
también.
and the organic quinoa.
Y eso es lo que yo quiero comer.
Yeah, thank you. Like quinoa, barley, those are all really good.
Quinoa.
I'd like to thank everyone for your discussion and input. If I said anything wrong, I ask for heaven's forgiveness and transmitters to please correct. Thank you.